But the one I want to leave you with, the ultimate conversation starter that works in any situation, whether it's here at this event, whether it's at a conference, whether it's at a social event.
So Kyle's also on our committee for SYP. He's on our board of directors at the Chamber. And he volunteers a lot of time with us and helps kind of plug back in so that we can keep our professional development going and going and going. So I appreciate his time. So I just wanted to welcome Kyle Whissel.
All right. So Kyle Whissel, I run Whissel Realty Group here in Santee. And today my goal is just to kind of share with you guys some tips that you guys can leverage to go out and create more business, right? This is kind of part of the Chamber. And our goal with the Chamber is to leverage relationships to create more business. And so that's kind of what we're here to do. And I'm going to start out, almost all of you guys are already making the first mistake, which is sitting with people you know. So before we even start, if you're sitting next to somebody you already know, get your ass up and move. If you're married to them, that means, yes, you know them. So let's get up, meet somebody new. I'm not going to start until you guys do this. So get up.
They sat together because they have matching shirts.
Yeah, it's cute. So get up, sit next to somebody you don't know, introduce yourself, and tell them something fun about you. So the beautiful thing here is some of you guys have already met more new people in the last 5 minutes than you met at your last networking event combined. But this is what networking is all about. It's about going out, it's about meeting new people. So the what of why we're here today, the what for today is how do we network and leverage relationships to create business. The who is who do we network with. Who we network with is new people. One of the biggest mistakes I see everybody make at events like this is the same mistake that all of you guys made when you showed up here today, which is you immediately went to the people you know, found the table they were sitting at, and sat down with them. It's the number one mistake that we all make in networking is we just play in our comfort zone. We're scared to get out of that comfort zone and meet new people. But you guys came here for a networking event. Like, what did you show up to a networking event for if you weren't going to network with people, right? Like, that's why we're here. That's what the Chamber is about. That's what SYP is about, is to meet new people and build relationships with them. So what I want to challenge you to do the next time you come to an event like this is make a point to go and to meet new people. Sit down next to somebody that you don't know. Another really good task is come with 5 business cards to every event you go to and make it your mission when you go to that event that you're going to hand out 5 business cards to 5 people that you don't know. And if you don't do that, consider it a failure for yourself. Just set that goal. Maybe you're going to a big event, like we're going to a conference in a couple months, there's 6,000 people there. Maybe that's 100 business cards for a big event. Or a smaller event like this, maybe it's 3 business cards. But set some sort of goal for yourself and make that your entire goal. When you go to this event, I've got to meet new people. Like, we can all go hang out with our friends whenever the hell we want, right? We can hang out with our coworkers. Like, when we leave here, this is a lunch event. We're going to go back to the office or back to the shop, and we're going to hang around our coworkers. So why should we hang out with them here? Let's hang out with some new people here. Let's meet some new friends. And then maybe we learn something from some of these friends, and we can take that back to the shop, and we can share that with each other. So I want to encourage you guys, when you're going out to events, meet as many new people as you can. The business card thing is a great way to do that. The Chamber was nice enough today to give you guys all name tags, but if they didn't give you guys name tags, how many of you guys showed up with a name tag on? Nobody. You're so much more approachable when you wear a name tag, because it's an awkward thing to walk up to somebody and not know who they are, not know anything about them. Like, wear a name tag that says what's your name and what company you're with. At least it gives them, these guys got some branded shirts on, which is cool. Mike's got a branded shirt on. We got a few branded shirts. That helps at a networking event, so people at least have an idea of what line of work you're in, because sometimes you're looking for specific people that you want to network with. Well, you guys are in the auto industry, and think about who is it that's going to refer business. Maybe somebody shows up with a collision shirt on. That could be a really good source of business for you guys. So identify, like, put it across your chest, wear a name tag, something, wear a hat, something that's going to identify who you are and what it is that you do. You're going to be so much more approachable for people that are out at one of these networking events. The other thing that I want to focus on the who is it that you need to meet that has the potential to refer business to you. Because that's one of the big goals of networking is I want to get relationships with the right people that have the ability to refer business over to me. So who are those people for you? I'm in real estate, so who's the most likely person to refer business to me? Divorced attorneys are great. People get divorced, they sell the house they own together. A lot of times they go buy 2 new houses. That's a really good source of business for me. Financial advisors and CPAs, they're great sources of business. These guys are literally, people come in and open their books. Here's what I own. Here's, what I paid on my mortgage. What should I do? They're literally asking these people for advice. We want to be that person that they think of when somebody's like, hey, we're getting divorced. We need to sell the house. Do you know a realtor? I want to be that person that's top of mind. That's somebody, if I'm out at a networking event, that's somebody I want to have a relationship with. So think about in your business, who is it that you want relationships with? Like Sarah does HVAC contracting. Who are some of the best people for her to know? It's going to be other contractors, right? Because half the time sometimes she's getting direct customers that are coming to her, but half the time it's coming from contractors that are subbing jobs out to her. So if she's coming to a networking event and there's other contractors, you better believe those are her targets. Those are the people that she wants to go to that event, that she wants to meet. You run a detail shop, like who are some good people for you, right? Think about in your industry, who are the people that you want to meet? Who is the most likely person to refer business over to you? So think about some of those opportunities next time you're at these events and put a lot of attention on that. And think about what are some of the ways that we can get relationships with these people. Something that we're really big on, if you guys have never read this book, Jab, 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 Right Hook, is something we've kind of built our business on. And Gary Vaynerchuk's the author of this. And so the premise of Jab, 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 Right Hook is give, give, give before you ever ask for anything in return. And so think about what can you give to people to start a relationship with them. What is that you can do? Probably 4 or 5 of you guys in this room have been on our radio show before. Our radio show is one of those jabs for us, right? Like James sells insurance. He knows a lot of people that own homes in Santee. He can be a good source of referral business for me. James has been on my radio show. I want to create that relationship with him. What better way to do it than to give him an opportunity to come on a radio show and talk about who he is, what he does, and let him share that with the community. Now, hopefully he can create some new business as a result of coming on that radio show. And now if he gets some new business because he came on the radio show, next time he's got a piece of business to refer out, he's going to think of us because we just jabbed. We just did something. We gave him something. Now, you don't need to have a radio show, right? That's just something that we do, but what can you do for people? The number one way to jab is to give a referral before you receive a referral. So as you meet people out here, as you meet people at networking events, what do you do? And ask people. At the end of this, I'm going to give you guys a thing to get 129 conversation starters, questions to ask at different types of events. So as you're in conversation with people, ask them, like, who's your ideal client? When you come to an event like this, who are you hoping to meet? Ask those questions and genuinely show interest in their business, because the more you learn about their business, the more opportunity you're going to have next time somebody says, hey, I'm looking to get a new insurance policy on my house. If I know James, I just met him at an event, it's fresh in my head, I'm going to be like, you know what, you should talk to James. Now I just gave him a piece of business. Now I'm more likely to get a piece of business back in return. So understand the businesses of everybody that you guys are meeting at these events, because the more you understand their business, the better job you're going to be able to do of jabbing and give them a referral. Maybe give them 2 referrals, maybe give them 3 referrals. But you got to jab first before you right hook. So make sure you're doing a good job when you come out to these events, meet people, find out what they do, and then do what you can to jab for them. What can you do to help them grow their business? Some of the other stuff as far as the whys go of doing this, all of you guys hopefully track where your business is actually coming from. I know in our business, the top 2 sources of business for us are our database and referrals from that database. Is it safe to assume most of you guys, that's where your business comes from, right? It's from everybody that you already know, your past clients, and it's coming from referrals from the people that you know from these networking events. We all know that's where the majority of our business comes from, But the problem a lot of us make in business is that we're spending way too much time trying to generate new customers, as opposed to working the relationships that we already have to generate repeat and referral business from those people. So why we do this is the transactions that come from networking events and from referrals within your network, those are the most profitable transactions that we do in business because the cost to generate those is so low. Some of you guys are doing things like running ads on Facebook or running ads on Google pay-per-click, or you're doing newspaper ads or radio ads or TV ads. That shit's expensive. Like, that stuff's really expensive. The cost to acquire that client is so much higher than the cost to acquire a client that's a piece of repeat business or referral business. So when we think about which are the most profitable, it's the exact opposite, right? The repeat and referral client's the most profitable. And that piece of business that we had to pay a lot of money to get is the least profitable. That's why we do this stuff. The other thing that's really important when it comes to networking is that in order for somebody to work with you, they gotta know you, they've gotta like you, and they've gotta trust you. Nobody's gonna do business with you if we don't have those three things accomplished first. Well, if you're meeting somebody brand new that you've never met in your life before, now how easy is that to establish or get them to know you, to like you, and trust you? Like, that's not easy when you're just meeting somebody completely cold. They don't know anything about you. You don't know anything about them. You really got to work to accomplish those three things. But if Curtis introduces me to James, and Curtis is like, James, dude, I heard you were looking to buy a house. You got to talk to Kyle. He's awesome. He helped us buy our house. Like, he's the guy you need to talk to. Now, maybe I had never met James before, but how much further up that ladder of getting James to know and like and trust me am I versus if I'd never met James my entire life and he was completely cold, right? We're so much further ahead just because of that referral. So that referral is gonna knock those three things out of the way that have to happen before somebody's gonna do business with you. So some of the importance of why we do it, some of the places as far as where we do it. You guys are here right now. This is one of those places, coming out to happy hours or coming out to things like lunch and learn. So the good thing is you guys get that. You're here, right? You're putting yourself into these right environments. Now we just got to make sure when you come to these places that you're tactical, that you're coming here with some intention. Like, yeah, it's fun. Let's come. Let's have a beer. Let's eat. They've got amazing food here. And thanks to Adam and the crew for hosting us. We appreciate them. But be intentional when you come out to these events. Don't just show up to these events and not have a purpose. You're coming here to meet people. I mean, you guys took time away from the office, away from the shop to be here. You paid money to be here. Let's get value out of it. Let's not just hang out with our friends. We can hang out with our friends after 5 o'clock. We can hang out with our friends on the weekend, but let's come here, let's be intentional, and let's try to create some business from the relationships we make here. Other places, just general social events. Like, we're coming into the summer. Like, this is social event season. You're going out, there's cookouts, there's church events, there's beach parties, there's pool parties. We're going out to the river. I mean, it's East County, we do that stuff. We rarely go to the beach, right? It's far, sand, gross. We don't want to deal with that shit, right? We're East County. We go further east, right? Let's go where it's 120 because 100's not hot enough. Let's just do that. Think about when you're in those environments. Now, you're going to treat a social event a little bit differently than a networking event. Like, we come to a networking event, we're coming with a name tag. We want people to know who we are and what we do. Well, if we show up to the river and we got a name tag on, we're going to look pretty stupid, right? So you're going to approach that situation a little bit differently. You're going to have different conversations. And again, the list I'm going to give you guys is 129 conversation starters. There's like 20 specifically for social events. So you're going to come in, you're going to approach those things a little bit differently. Another place that you can go and create those opportunities is going to conferences. Conferences is one of the best places for us to generate business, because at least within our industry in real estate, there's conferences we go to. There is 5,000-6,000 realtors at a single event, and they're realtors from all across the entire country. Well, when we go to those events, we treat those the same way that we treat these. Like, when my team goes to those events, it's very clear to everybody, I do not want to see you guys all hanging out with each other at these events. Like, when you go to conferences, don't go to them and hang out with everybody you already know. Go to those events, learn from everybody else there, especially if everybody's in the same field as you. Because the cool thing is there's two things you can learn from them. One, what are they doing with their business? that's helping them grow. And people are going to be way more open to share, right? If you're talking to an HVAC contractor that's from Sacramento, there's no reason they're not going to tell you what they're doing and how they're creating business for themselves. Versus if you came to something in East County, they're your competitor. They're probably not going to share. So when you go to conferences, you get to meet people from all over the country that do the same thing you do, but they're not competitors, so they're going to be super open to share. And then depending on your industry, now HVAC, you're probably not passing referrals back and forth, but at least you can share knowledge. But if we go to a real estate event, we go to an insurance event, there's opportunity now where somebody's a realtor in Sacramento and their client's selling and moving down here to San Diego. I want to be that person they think of when their client's moving this direction. So when I go to those events, I want to make sure I'm meeting as many people from all across the country as I can, because we're kind of fortunate, right? A lot of people come to San Diego. It's a beautiful place. I want to be that person that they're thinking of when they've got a client that's moving this direction. So when I go to those conferences, I'm super intentional on meeting as many people as I can from around the country. One, to learn from them, and two, to be top of mind for the referrals that they have in my area. The when, that's all up to you on how often you do stuff, but I would recommend at least twice a month. Put yourself out into environments like this. Again, you guys are already here, so props to you for taking the time to be here. But do this on a consistent basis and try to get into a bunch of different networks. There's some groups that are literally built for networking and sharing business between each other. There's something called BNI. I don't even know what it stands for, but basically you have a bunch of people from different businesses. Everybody goes there. The goal is to tell each other about who you are and what you do and share business within the group. Like, that's an amazing thing. And there's almost an expectation that you're going to share business within that group. So that's a huge source of business. I know, Sarah, you're in a BNI group. What's that? Yeah. Or no, Latip, that's right, yeah. Yes, think about a group with 64 people from all different businesses. So there's no competitors in that room. There's 64 people there that all own businesses or manage businesses that are showing up in a room to just learn from each other and share business with each other. So BNI is a really big one. There's another one called Latip, LETIP, and I'm sure there's plenty of others that I don't know about, but maybe you get involved with one of those groups. Yeah.
They're pretty similar.
Yeah, so definitely find those groups in your area. There's BNI out here in Santee that just started up. I can connect you. I think one of my agents actually started it, which is weird that I didn't start it, but one of my agents did, but it's cool. It's cool, I'm proud of him. He listened to what I taught him. So find a group like that. Another thing that's real important is when you meet people at these events, as you're giving out 5 business cards, you should obviously try to get 5 business cards in return. What most of us do, though, is we get those business cards, put them in our pocket, we get to the office, we put it in the stack with all the other business cards, we do absolutely nothing with it. What's the point? Why did we even get a business card? Why did we go? Take those business cards and follow up with that person. You could follow up with a call, you could follow up with a text, you could follow up with an email. My favorite thing to do is to follow up with a video message. So there's a free service, it's called Soapbox, and the company that makes it is Wistia. And it's a free service where you can record a video and email it out to people. It's pretty cool. I like email because maybe somebody goes to an event, they meet 10 people, they don't remember who all these 10 people are. But if I send a video, now they got a name, a face, a personality to put with the person that they met at that event. So using something like Soapbox is really cool. You meet those 5 people. When you get back to the office or tomorrow, record a video and shoot it to those 5 people. Or at bare minimum, send everybody a text message and just, hey, it was great to meet you. Let's stay connected. Just keep the lines of conversation going. And hopefully you guys have CRMs, a customer relationship management system, or something that you organize everybody you meet. There should be somewhere you put them into. You should have a system for this. So have a system where you put all of these people into so that you remember who they are, where you met them, what they do, and hopefully you have something that keeps you in touch with them, at least like on a monthly basis. Send them your monthly newsletter, whether that's in physical mail, whether that's an email, but you should have something at least once a month that you're sending out to your entire database. Just because maybe you met somebody 6 months ago, but over those 6 months, they've gotten an email once a month from you. Half the time, 90% of the time, they're not gonna read it, but they're gonna at least see, oh, James, that's that insurance guy. And they're just gonna see James and insurance, James and insurance, James and insurance. Those are called impressions. The more impressions we make on somebody, the more likely they're gonna be to remember us when they've got a piece of insurance business to refer out. So get them into a system and communicate with them on a regular basis, at least once a month. And I would challenge you to call them once a quarter. And if you put them into a good system where you can actually have some notes about who they are, where you met them, what they do, maybe you know they have kids or pets or whatever, you can have a good conversation with them. There's an acronym that they teach in sales that really applies to everything. But when you're talking to people, it's called FORD, F-O-R-D. F stands for family, O stands for occupation, R stands for recreation, and D stands for dreams. So it just gives you kind of some bullet points to go through when you talk to somebody. So it'd be like, hey Mike, how's the family? How have you guys been? Oh, we've been great, blah, blah, blah. Cool, I know you guys. And then we go into occupation. How's stuff going out at the course? I know you guys got a lot of fun stuff going on. Did you guys start the concerts yet? Cool. Recreation, have you been playing any rounds? I know last time we talked you were like a 6 handicap. How are you shooting these days? And then get into the dreams and talk about, so what's new? What's on the horizon for you guys? Like FORD, just remember that: family, occupation, recreation, dreams. That just gives you a basic framework to have conversations, whether that be people you've met at networking events or just your clients in general. It's kind of a basic framework for you guys to follow. And I think that's all I got for time. So I want to share that with you guys. If you guys want to get, there's this list that's like 12 pages of awesome stuff about conversation starters and questions. I'll have you guys send me a text and it'll automatically respond. But the one I want to leave you with, the ultimate conversation starter that works in any situation, whether it's here at this event, whether it's at a conference, whether it's at a social event, just what do you love about what you do? It's one of the best conversation starters that you could possibly have, because we all love to talk about what we love. Maybe you ask some probing questions and you're asking about stuff they don't really care about, but everybody likes to talk about what they love in their business. And maybe it doesn't have to be what do you love about what you do, but what do you love about life if it's a social event? What do you love about the summertime? Like, ask them, what do you love about? Is a really, really powerful question, because when people respond to that, it's typically going to be a pretty passionate conversation because they're talking about what they love. So I want to encourage you guys to use that moving forward. If you guys want to get this book of all these conversation starters, grab your phone real quick and I'll give you a phone number to send a text to. So open up your text. And you're going to send a text to 619-633-3393. 619-633-3393. And just put Santee in there. And it should automatically respond to you within a minute with a link to that. 619-633-3393 with the word Santee. And that'll respond with this book for you guys. So you guys have that and can start using that moving forward.